as Dash of Dave. He'll take some scraps and bits of this, turn them into something you can't miss. Junk journals, tapes, and crafts galore. He'll have you begging, show me more. Oh, Dash of Dave, oh, what a sight. Mixing colors, day and night.
Hi everyone, it's Dash of Dave here, and I am back for another crafty video. Today, we're going to make this. I have had this in my stash for some time, and we're going to make it. I think it makes a little matchbox and drawer, like a matchbox drawer thing. Oh yeah, it does. Look, one large matchbox set with 6 inserts. So we're going to make this because it's been sat on my shelf behind me for a while now. I haven't done anything with it. I think I will decorate it, probably using some of my digitals, because you know I've got a few that I found that when I was tidying up that were already printed. So I think we might decorate it with that. We'll glue it together, stick it, make it, and we will go from there. Like I say, I've had this for a while. I don't know where it came from. It cost me £3.50. That's all I know, because it says that on there. It's designed by Di Oliver. It's a laser cut board. It says laser cut board enclosed. There may be some residual. There may be some residue present on the cut edges. Warning: this is not a toy, and it's come from tandocreative.co.uk. So anyway, we're going to make it. Well, I guess those are the inserts because they're thinner, and it doesn't come with any instructions, so it's just a we will build it, we will find it, we will stick it with glue, 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 we will stickle it, every little bit of it. Yes. So I guess these, I'm just going to kind of go through and see whether I can work out how this goes together. I guess those bits interlock there. Yeah, and then that goes on the top there. Yeah, and then one of them is smaller, so I think that must be the drawer that goes inside. So we'll pop that over there because that doesn't have the teeth either side. And we're just going to glue it and see how it goes and what we find as a result of it. So, how am I going to glue it? It doesn't give me any instructions, so I'm just going to do it myself. Oh, maybe I should cover it first. Should I cover it first or should I cover it afterwards? Should I cover it so that you can't see the component pieces, or should I cover it so you can see the component pieces? That is the dilemma. I guess if you put it together, I guess the dovetail side part of it might look fairly good, or it might not. Oh, and I've just thought I've got these things, haven't I, that my beautiful partner Vic bought me for Christmas. Perfect for this kind of thing because they're right angles for setting grey board. So they should kind of slot into that. I don't know which one they slot into nicely. That one. And then if we slot that on, just to make sure that we get a right angle on it. Do I want to cover it so you can see it or not? No. I'd like to see the kind of dovetail. I think maybe that kind of adds to it. So I'll cut the panels out afterwards. I will do it afterwards. We'll glue it all together and then we'll do it afterwards. So that goes into there. We'll talk about decisive. If you think I'm indecisive now, you should wait. You should come out for a meal with me. Oh, blimey, don't give me a menu where I have to choose. Yeah, so like that will hold that nicely in place at a right angle while it glues. So, let's get it glued, Dave. Sorry, I have to smell it because it looks like it's got a burnt edge. and I wondered if it smelt burnt, and it kind of has a little bit of burnt smell. So that needs to have glue on it, but not that bit. So do I glue this bit? I don't know which. Yeah, I'll glue this bit because this is going to suck up glue because it's an open laminated edge. So by laminated, I mean don't mean covered in plastic. I mean multiple layers of board bound together, and so it's going to have more to it. It's all I can describe that as. And then if I do in this bit here, because then that'll give me the opportunity to see if it's like sucked it all in, and therefore I need to put more glue on, or I don't. I don't think I do. Okay, so that's all goes into there nicely. Just want to kind of push it down, wipe it off. In fact, actually, that's a really good thing to have done, is not to have glued the panels, the decorative panels on first, because they'd all be covered in glue. So adding them later means that they will be clean and free of glue. So I think is that going in there? Right, there we go. That should be a nice little right angle. So maybe put that on and that on there. And that should hold it at a right angle. Hopefully not a wrong angle. There we go. Yeah, so that should be holding all of that together nicely. I mean, I will just give it a bit of help by pressing down on it, but at least we know it's a right angle, because that's the problem when you're gluing stuff like this together, is getting it at a right angle. You know, you can get it and end up having it a tilt. If you've got a drawer to go in it, you don't want that tilt, do you? So I'll just wipe that bit of glue off there. And hopefully that will stick. And if it doesn't, we can always rectify it with maybe a bit of tape on the outside, because if we're covering it, nobody's going to know. How are they going to know? Nobody's going to know. That stupid that came from social media. They'll never know. How are they going to know? Yes, anyway. So then if I do this side, I mean, like, there could be a reason why it was only £3.50. This may be the issue that people had with it, is gluing it together. But like I say, we will see. We'll see what happens. And I like a challenge, so I like building stuff, actually. Definitely, you know, that's why I like Lego. I like building. I think I should have gone into engineering. That would have really floated my boat. That's why I like reverse engineering stuff, is because it's that kind of engineering side to me. Maybe there's many sides to me. I'm multifaceted. No, multifaceted means you've got many faces, doesn't it? And I'm not two-faced. What are you trying to say? I beg your pardon. That's got a bit of stuff stuck in it. Let's use this piece. It's quite fiddly, I will admit. It is quite fiddly. And there's going to be mixed results. Results may vary, to quote a phrase. Pop that on there. No, that's not going to go on for some reason. Oh, it is. I'm just Oh no, it's because I'm going in at the wrong piece. That's why. That one there. That there. That there. Okay. And again, we just need to make sure that kind of sticks on that edge there. Run a finger down the middle of that. That's the only thing, is we won't be able to do that when we put the other side on. We're not even going to be able to get these on when we put the top piece on, although we will have established that this is hopefully established that this is then a right angle rather than a wrong angle. Stop saying that, Dave. You think you're funny. Nobody else does. I'm just going to fill that gap there and then press it down, because that bit wasn't making contact. Eye to eye contact. Yes. So we'll squeeze that together. Is there anything I can squeeze that with so I don't have to squeeze it? Can I be in 5 places at once? Of course I can. I work for groundwork. I can be in 12 places at once. Oh, look, that fits over there nicely, that. Oh, good. So that's kind of holding that in place and making that make contact. Do I dare take this side off? How long do you think it's going to take to dry? Although that dries fairly quick, doesn't it? So if we don't take it off, we run the risk of it being glued on there forever, which we don't want. I've made you this set of drawers with blue bits on the corners. Cool. Okay, that seems to be working. Okay, so maybe I could be getting on with the base. Buttery biscuit base. No. Take that. Right. Okay. Which is the bottom and which is the top? I don't know. That's that way round, I think, maybe. Yeah, let's go for that. So that's going to go in there. Why is it overhang? Ah, because I bet they don't overhang. No, they don't. So that overhangs to glue onto that bit. Oh, blimey, this is complex. I don't know whether to glue all of the sides together like this and then put it on here, or to glue them to here and then put all of the sides on. I think I'm going to do all of the sides first, because, you know, I am nothing if not daring. So in that case, then I am nothing. Okay, so I'm not really very daring normally. Oh, that's very tight in there, and I don't want to be struggling to get it out again. So I'm going to go with the bigger slot this time. Okay. So I will just need to make sure I get all of the teeth the same way. So they should be all facing up. And I think that should be the outside. So that's going to go in there. And that's going to go in there. So that goes in first, because that's the longer one, and that's the shorter one. So that goes there. And that butts up to there. And then hopefully it will glue. So I might edit this video so that you don't have to sit and literally watch paint dry, or well, glue dry in our case. Well, that's it. That seems to have grabbed it. So then we'll pop that in there. And then we'll get this piece, longer piece. And if we do it the same way round, so I can't remember what to do with the burnt lines on the outside. Burnt lines on the burnt lines on the outside. Yes. Okay. Oh, and then the glue goes on that end. glue that into there. Get that to line up nicely. Oh no, we need it to line up nicely, please. I know you can't really see what I'm doing because my porky fingers are in the way, but just get it to stuck on you. I've got a feeling down deep in my heart and I just can't lose. Yeah, stay with you, stuck on you. Who was that? Who sang that? Was it Lionel Richie? Was it Lionel Richie? Is that even his name? The person I'm thinking of. I think it's Lionel Richie. Tell me. Answer in the comments. Was it Lionel Richie? Because I have no idea. So let's put these into place, and then I can be prepared. Dib, dib, dib. Dob, dob, dob. And then that's going to go in there. Oh no, not that way up down. I had a moment where I thought, hang on a minute, have I done that with all of them? But no, I haven't. I'm alright. And they're going to go in there. Yeah, okay, so I need to do with the glue on the ends of them. But I don't want to lift it up and it bend and break, basically. So maybe I'll have to put it on here. So put a bit of glue. So this might not be the tidiest. No, that's definitely not going to be tidy. Bit of construction though on a Sunday afternoon. Can't go wrong, can you? I can definitely smell burning. I think somebody has. There's somebody around here with a log burner, and I think it's that smell that I can smell. Hopefully, it's that, and not somebody's, property on fire. I keep thinking it's this because that looks like it's been cut with a laser, but it doesn't smell strongly of smoke, so I don't think it is. Right, so that's all kind of gluing together, so we'll move that over to one side. Let's come back to this, undo that, so if we can get this off without breaking it. Seems to have gone okay. And this piece, you can't wiggle it too much, because if you're wiggling it, you're just going to end up breaking off what you've just glued. So that looks alright. And then that bit, no, that's the bottom, that's obviously the bottom of the drawer. That bit is going to go in there. Like that. The only thing is, I wished it had a back. Does that mean that it's not big enough to have a back on it? No, it looks like it could be big enough to have a back on it, and why doesn't it have a back on it? Do I want to put that addition in of having a back? I think I'd like to. So, I think I'm going to go rogue here and make my own back for it. So, I do have some grey board. Of a similar sort of density. I don't know what microns this one is. So you get my caliper out. So this is in inches, but sorry, in centimeters. So this millimeters even. So this is like 3 millimeters is. That's 2.5 millimeters. And this is 2 millimeters. So that's that. They sometimes do it in microns. So 2,000 microns is 2 millimeters. 2,500 microns is 2.5 millimeters. And so that one's 2.5 or 2,500 microns, and this one is 2,000 microns. Similar sort of size, like I say. So I'm going to stick that, let's move that out of the way. I'm going to stick that together. What do I want to do? Do I want to put that inside there? And if I do, how am I going to do that? Do I want to measure it with the calipers? I could do it this way. So if I hold that all together like that, and then expand this till that gap is measured like that, that gives me, oh, that's 10 centimeters, or basically it's 100 millimeters, so that, which is 10 centimeters. Let's see if we can do it the other way. Well, I mean, we can do it the other way, but let's see what we get when we go the other way. More to the point. No, don't keep expanding it, Dave. You want it to be in the true gap, not in the expanded gap. And then I would say that was 19.5 centimeters. No, centimeters. 19.5 millimeters, which is nearly 2 centimeters. So 1.95 centimeters. So 100. Let's go 100 by 2 centimeters. We can always shave a bit off. So, although this won't cut it as such, it will at least put a line in it. Especially because I now have centimeter lines on here. So 10 centimeters, which is 100 millimeters. For those of you out there going, oh, I don't know what he's talking about now. No idea. It's all right. You don't need to. I will do it all for you. So I'm just going to come in a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way down, because then we want to go 2 centimeters, which is there. We'll go for 2 centimeters. Like I say, we can always cut a bit off if we need to. So that presumably is my gap piece that I need. And I will now just cut this down so we can cut it out. So that won't cut through the grey board, but this, it gives me a line, a furrow in which to cut, which is a bit safer when you're cutting grey board than just cutting it with a blade, because you've got more chance of it slipping. Oh, I love that smell of like burning wood. So, is that going to come out? Right, let's see if this is going to fit in that gap. Will that go in there? Oh, it go. Oh, it. Oh my gosh, it does. There we go. Cool, brilliant. So, thank you, calipers. You have been extremely useful. Don't use you very often, but you come in blooming handy when I do. Hang on, where are we going to hook that back? I've unhooked it from somewhere. Goodness only knows where it went. There, cool. So, do I need to? I think I might just need to flatten that edge. So I might have to get an emery board. Because I've cut that. I've cut it at a slight angle. It's not completely flat. So I do want to just flatten it so it doesn't cause me issues. And luckily, I feel like my lungs are at that point where they can cope with it these days, because I don't feel like well, touch wood. Oh, where is wood? So touch some wood, Dave. can't find Dutch word. That I don't have any traces of the long COVID that I had, which gave me terrible lungs and terrible asthma. So let's just check now. Does it still go in there? It do. Right. Okay. It do, because that's English, isn't it, Dave? The reason why I wanted to sand it is because it was at a slight bevel, which meant that when I tried to glue it in here, it wouldn't have made enough contact. Eye to eye contact with the surroundings. And I guess it doesn't have a back piece. Certainly haven't seen a back piece. I mean, like, I don't know whether this means that it won't then fit in the drawer won't fit in, but you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. In fact, let's just check. That goes in there. Does that go to the back? Oh, it does. Yeah, there is no problem there, Dave. You've got no issues. You've got plenty of space. So let's glue that in. Get it all glued down. I'd like it to be as level with this back as possible, so just glue it into that squared off edge. Great. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll put a line of glue along here. And then we will glue in the spaces either side. Now, I don't know whether this is going to need some kind of retrofitting or something, you know, because I don't know how snug it will fit in there. It seemed to be quite loose. Is it loose because it gives you the ability to decorate it and therefore you're adding some thickness to it? Or is it just because it's not particularly well measured? I don't know. We'll find out when we've glued it together. So that's all that. That should just then slot in there. That should slot in there. Come on. Yes, good. That should then make contact with the back, which it does. And then I guess what we could do with is something to hold all of that together. And I don't have anything to do that with. So, do I put a brick on it, or do I just let gravity do its thing? Let's let gravity do its thing. And we'll pinch it a little as well. I guess I could have decorated the inside if I thought about it, but I didn't, and so we can't. That's the answer to that then, isn't it? I could have decorated it, I guess, to make it look more like wood inside, but it's not going to happen. This is the first time I've done this. I don't have another one to make, so I'll just go with what we've got. Right, okay. So let's make the base of this drawer while that's drying. So this has got to go into here. Which way up? Don't know. That's going to be the base of the drawer. This bit. And that's all going to slot in. And does it slot in? Oh, it does. You know, that's what I was worried about. About me making that bit first. If this didn't then fit into there. But it does. So we can then glue in all of these cancellation bits. And that's the back as well. I wasn't sure that this glue was going to be the thing, but of course it is still cardboard at the end of the day. So do I need, where else do I need it? So I could do with glue in this part of the cancellation as well. So cancellation, by cancellation I mean these look like turrets on the top of a castle, and that's what I know that as the the up and downiness. There's the castellation. I think I got that from when I used to sell wooden furniture, and we used to sell bookcases with castellation on the top, so that look like the turrets on a castle, obviously. So if the term is not correct, it's not the technical term, I apologise. I'm just going with what I think I know. It's not necessarily what I know. No, I now know. No. Go. Na 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 na. Hey, goodbye. Bananarama. In case anybody's wondering. Again, don't know how well they travelled across the sea in the 80s. Robert De Niro's waiting, tucking it down, yeah. Tucking it down, yeah. Again, I could have maybe decorated the inside, although that's easier to get to. Right, that goes in there. It's got a bit of give, but I guess the give is giving, because then you can put layers on and it not get in the way. But I will just let that dry. Okay, so these are inserts. So these are, I guess they're just sitting there. Yeah, I mean, like when they say they're inserts, they're very big inserts, aren't they? They're for you to decorate. But I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with the way it's gone together. I like a bit of construction every now and again. Don't do it very often, but when I do, I'll enjoy it. Usually I'm constructing something that I've designed. Which brings me to, I don't know whether I'm going to do a Halloween thing this year, or I might just do an autumnal thing. We will see. I've also got a collaboration that I'm going to be involved in, so there's that to do. So, like I say, don't know all of the ins and outs of anything at the moment, just know that I'm going to be involved in something. So, right, let's put that emery board back. So, now I should think about the decoration side of things. So I would like to use some of my digitals. So these are the ones that I used last time. I'm thinking maybe for the inside of the drawer, just some nice, something from the latte pack. I do like that. That's a bit of A4 paper that's been coffee dyed. So maybe that. For the inside, and then for the outside I might use some of the more decorative stuff. Robert De Niro, that's stuck in my head now. Tucking it down, yeah. I mean, that's wood, basically. You wouldn't know it. Wouldn't know it. Wouldn't. Yeah, shut up, Dan. You would know it because you can tell it's wood. Oh! I don't know now. Shall I? Oh, I don't know whether I can find it. I do have some like bits that are like. I was gonna say Viennese, but they're not. What are they called? Not Viennese. You know, like when it's like marquetry type thing. Obviously, that's marquetry. I'm sure it begins with a B. Anyway, let's do that. Let's do this. Make this go in. Make this go in there. There we go. Done. Let's get this to go in there. So I need to know how big that. Maybe I should have measured this before I did anything. Do I use my caliper again? Well, that is 3 5/8 of an inch inside, and that is 6 3/8. 6 3/8 by, oh, I can't remember what I just said now. The memory of a goldfish. Let's try again, Dave. So, try again. So this is 3 5/8. 3 5/8. This is 6 3/8 by 6 3/8. Let's try and do that. So I want to cut it on here. Which bit should I cut? I'm going to cut this corner. I know it's like really strange thing to be putting on the inside of a drawer, bit of lined paper, but you know, it's mine. I'm allowed. So 3/8 of an inch is, that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. 3/8 of an inch. The blade is becoming a little bit dull. I should be lifting the. You could be lifted. I should be lifting the layer up to meet the bit of blade that isn't quite as dull. The conversation is dull. I don't know about the blade. That is 4/8 there, because that's the half line. So that's the other. That's the 5th of the 8th. Shall we see? Does it fit? Does it fit? It kind of fits. It's a little bit snug. There's a bug in a rug. I need a blade to get it down. So I could do with making it smaller, but it's better for it to be too big and cut it down than to be too small and have to start again. So it needs to have a little bit off the edge and a little bit off the side. Bit like when you go for a trim. Bit off the edge. And a bit off the, well, this is bottom. A bit off of the bottom. I don't think you go for a bit off the bottom, do you? So, pop that in there. Oh my gosh, does that fit? Oh my gosh, I think it does. Right, how big now? Get out. Get out of here. How big is this? The sides. The side is, well, it would be, wouldn't it? It's a little bit smaller than 5/8 of an inch, so it's more like whatever that is. How many 16ths? So if that's 4/8 of an inch, that would be 8/16 of an inch. So it's like 9/16 of an inch. It would be 9/16 of an inch. So that's been cut to the right, well, kind of the right sort of size. We've just cut a bit off, but you know, never mind. What did I say? What, 9/16 of an inch. Oh, blimey. Talk about mixing your measurements, Dave. That's 8/16 of an inch. That's 9/16 of an inch there. Let's make it as square as we can. Still 9/16 of an inch? I don't know. I can't see where the lines are. 9/16 of an inch. Let's go with that and see what happens. Right, see if this is big enough, 2 big enough, not big enough, 3 big enough, 4 big enough. Oh, that's big enough. Right, I'm going to do 2 of them. where was it? That's there. 9/16 of an inch. That's square. Pop that in there. Cut that. Is that the same? Oh, that doesn't look the same. That's because it's not, Dave. It's not the same. How did you not get it the same? What? I thought you'd just done that, Dave. You foolish boy. Definitely foolish boy. Look, it doesn't fit. Right, that's 8/16. That's 9/16 of an inch. Right, let's do that again. That looks better. It is better. Right, so that's the sides. I think they're a little bit long, but we'll cut them down. Might be a tad long. Yeah, only a tad. So we will just cut them down by a tad. Because that international measurement of a tad. Do you not hate this when your desk starts to get this kind of uncontrollable? What the heck is going on here? That's going to go in there. That's going to go in there. And then we need something for the top and the bottom, which is this. So how wide have we got this? 3. What did I say? 3 and 5/8. 3 and 5/8. So that's a half. That's there. No, yeah, that's there. Cool. Please be right. I think when it comes to doing the outside, I won't make you suffer. I shall probably just burn through it and just cut it all down. So yes, I'm going to get all the bits cut, and then do we talk about? Oh no, let me cut this bit, and then we will talk about the outside, because we'll talk about what we're going to use on the outside, and then I'll cut it without you, so you don't have to suffer the pain of getting cut. Oh yeah, that fits in there. We'll get that. I'll cut that down in a minute. So that's the bottom. That's the sides. I'll cut that down to be the sides in a minute. Right. Okay. So what we're going to have for the outside. So this is the outside. So I would do opulence, because it's opulent. Could we get a bird on the box? We could get a bird on the box. It would be a bird box then. Do with something to cover it. So we've got something. Maybe we could cut the bird. I cut you. No. We could kind of cut the bird and wrap it. Although we're not going to see the component pieces. Although, at the moment I don't care. So maybe we wrap it in that and we cut the bird. So the bird, do we want which bird? I'm a sucker for a bird. I don't want that one. I would be bending the flower round, but not the bird, and his tail maybe. But so maybe that one is the one. That one, in order to get him kind of centered, I'd have to wrap most of his tail round and underneath, and he wouldn't see it, or I'd end up with his beak wrapped, and I don't want to bend his beak. Really. How on earth is he going to eat if you bend his beak? Quite like that one as well. That's quite a nice background. That's nice, but I think it lends itself to being a bigger sheet. That's nice as well. Nice. I mean, they're all nice. I did make them, so I made them to my taste. So do we want anything from Elementary? I mean, I'm trying to think, how will he stand out? Maybe not that. I don't think he'll stand out on that. Maybe this. Maybe that's a good idea. He won't stand out on that. It's too busy. I don't want to cover up the relatives. I don't think he'll stand out on that because it's kind of browny. This has got like stripes on it from where I've so it does have stripes on it, but my printer was not doing a very good job of it, so didn't do it justice. Oh, nobody wants me on the front of the box. Maybe on the bottom of the box. No. Oh, is that too garish? I quite like that. Let's see what that's going to look like. Maybe not that one. Okay. And then ensemble. No. No. Sorry, the ice cream balance turned up. So no, none of them. I think it's going to be from either that from Opulence or that from Elementary. No, we're not going to use that. We're going to use that. I think there's because he's got a bit of orange there. I think that's what we're going to use. So I will cut all of these pieces down and then we'll reconverge when I'm oh, look at my fingers.
Captured in layers I hope will last. And if you pause, you just might find a piece of your own heart left behind. So won't you like, won't you stay? Won't you subscribe to the words I lay? Comment your thoughts, let me know you're there. And share the magic if you dare. It's not just paper, scissors and glue. It's a quiet place I made for you. A little piece the world forgave. A gentle spark, a dash of day.
So I've cut this down and I've also torn this edge. The reason for that is when I wrap this round here, okay, it will cross over at the back. Let's just get that kind of in the place it needs to be. So it will sit like this, kind of crossed over at the back. It needs to be a bit more square, but we'll sort that out in a minute. Let's just see if we can kind of get it somewhere in the right place there. And then this bit will come across here and sit across here. I'll patch a little bit behind there, but what you'll get is you won't see a definite line, because it's a bit like when you do wallpaper. If you've got a bit where it overlaps into a different piece, you know, not when you're butting two edges up to each other, when you kind of have a piece that overlaps because the room isn't big enough to take certain sizes of wallpaper all the way around. If you have a torn line, your eye isn't drawn to it as much. So I will show you what I mean when I've done it. However, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to definitely have him on the front. But I think what I'm going to do is I am going to deploy the Xyron. Deploy the Xyron. Deploy the Xyron. And because we always have a jingle for deploy the Xyron, cue the jingle. Deploy the Xyron.
Deploy the Xyron. Super sticky is what we need. Deploy the Xyron.
Xyron deployed. So I'm going to use the sticky of the Xyron to sticky the back of this, because I think that will give me the best coverage, especially with a wonky edge. So I am gonna sticky it with my Xyron. You know I don't like using this because I don't want to use it up because I'm gonna cry when it's gone. But postage from the US is ridiculous these days. Absolutely ridiculous. So, okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just get that stuck down. You know I love this. Love the Xyron. I just wish they were easier to come by, the cartridges for it. But it is what it is. And like, I always think, oh no, don't use it, Dave, because then you'll run out. But like, if you don't use it, then what's the point of having it? So, you know, I will cry on the day that I have completely run out, but until said day, I will just keep going and just be happy that I'm using it, I think. So, well, basically that's what I'm telling myself. Whether that holds true or not, I don't know. So, just gonna split that edge. I think this is where people go wrong with the Xyron. They say, oh, I don't like using Xyron, it leaves a real tacky edge around the edge of it. But like, if you just go round with a pencil or a pen or whatever, and it just breaks the sticky edge, and then you don't get the strands of glue sticking out the end. And you can always kind of just go over it with a bit of talcum powder to just get rid of that edge, or a bit of corn flour or cornstarch, wherever you come from. We call it corn flour, some call it cornstarch. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, so I just want to make sure it's completely stuck down, so I'm just going to go over it all. Now, I have covered the drawer, and depending on whether I went for a fast forward and you watch me make it, or a cut, you'll have either seen it or you'll see it in a minute. So, peel that bit off, and then whenever you're peeling the back off the Xyron thing, the other good tip is to peel the back from the front rather than the other way around, then you don't get a really curly piece that you find impossible to deal with. And you also tend to find that the glue stays stuck to it. There we go. And the only problem now is you have to be really careful about getting this on here, getting it in the right place. So I hope that, I mean, I haven't centered the front anyway, so if the lines, the crease lines aren't in the correct place, it's not a huge issue. Hang on, I should be centering the front edge. Oh. What am I doing? Which way up is it? It's that way. That's the way up. That's the front edge. That's good. Cool. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. So I want this front edge to be the straightest edge. If the back bit is a little bit wonky, it's not a problem because it's the back. Whereas the front edge is the bit that I want to be perfect. Well, as perfect as one can get when you are crafting. So that's there. So that's going to go over the top, so that's the last piece to do. So this piece is the next piece to come over. So we are going to make sure that that sits nice and square on there. And the way to do that is to fold it up with a ruler with a nice flat edge. There we go. That should be nice and flat. No puckering, no puckering. Right, so we know that there's a bit here where it overlaps and it doesn't have the little gap. And what we will do is we'll pop, I say pop, we'll stick a bit of that underneath that when we come to overlap it. So that's stuck down there. Let's also get that edge nice and square, and then pull that bit over here, get that nice and square with this edge. There we go. And we'll bring this side up. Again, nice and square. Right, so this is the bit that's going to go here. In fact, I could probably just glue that bit back on and maybe have it, let's tear it a little bit more. In fact, I'm going to try and glue this piece on. And just put glue on the back of here rather than... I'm not going to put this bit through the Xyron. It's an absolute waste of time to try and get that through the Xyron. It's not going to happen. Sorry, I know my fingers are in the way. There we go. Cool. So I'll bring that bit over. A bit over there. A bit over there. And then move that down. And then hopefully you'll see what I mean. That line is less visible than it would be if it had been a straight line. You'd have seen it instantly. That line is now sort of invisible. So as invisible as we possibly get it. Now any overhang I'm just going to trim away so that it doesn't all ruffle up. And again just on all the sides, just so it doesn't ruffle up. Okay, and then because we've got this white edge of this paper, we're just going to run some ink around it. And that goes through the white edge of the paper. We don't obviously have anything stuck on the back yet, but we will. We'll stick something to it, not quite sure what yet. We could use a bit of the piece that we cut off. In fact, we might be able to pattern match it. Oh no, it's come off the bottom, so we'll just do a bit like that and we'll stick that on there. So rather than try and measure it, because I don't know whether you saw in the video of me fast forwarding through everything, but like if I did indeed leave that bit in, you'll have seen I had a right problem trying to work out how much I needed for the draw. So working out in fractions, no, it's not something I was designed to do, but hey, I did it, so that's going to go on there. Right, how much do we need? Let's go do that. No measuring then. That's cool. It's the back as well, so we don't have to worry about it as much. Where's my little dauber? Where's my dauber gone? Have we lost it? What? No, it's not that. No. Hang on. Let me find my dauber. Found it. It was you probably could see it because you're seeing down. It was there behind the glue, so I couldn't see it because it wasn't in my eye line. I'm not wearing eyeliner, by the way. Not today, anyway. Yes, it was just out of sight. So I'll stick that on the back. Hopefully that's the right size. Yes, it'll do. I'll stick that on there, and then we will put the drawer in. Now I need to figure out what I'm going to do for the front bit. I don't think I will make the things today, the innards. You know, the panels that I was given. I think that will be a finish it Friday. And then we can do something fun with them. So again, I'm just going to get rid of those white edges so you don't see that as much. In fact, I might even cut them off if they do indeed cut off. Oh no, look, you see, just completely mashed it instead. No, never mind. We just cover it up with a bit of ink and nobody will ever know. So we want to just ink around the edges anyway. Give it that look of agedness. I love the way that that works. I mean, like just a great tip for whenever you're trying to pattern match anything. Just give it a tear, and it will. Nobody will know it's there. Give it a tear, and you won't know it's there. There you go. There's a rhyme for it as well. So yes, we will cut out the bird, and then we will glue the bird on. I love the top of that now. I don't know which now is the top and which is the bottom. Although, no, I want to put the bird on, so the bird needs to have a more plain background, so we will use this as the bottom. But it is so beautiful, that. I don't know now. Do I want the bird on it, or do I want to use it that way up? I just love the way that that has turned out. Do you know what? I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to forgo the bird. I know. But, you know, we are going to do a Finish It Friday. So we do have these to do. So the bird might make it to that one of them at the end of the day. Or it might make it inside the drawer. But, so, the other thing I've done is I've put a stopper of the thickness of, not that, where's my other grey board that I was using? This only knows what that is. Anyway, the grey board that I used to cut out for the back, I cut a double thickness of that to put at the back as a stopper, because the drawer was going all the way in and it wasn't stopping on the front edge. It was just going too far in. So I've done that just to kind of give it a bit more of a, you know, so it sits flush on the front here. So the only thing I want to do is I want to get some kind of a handle. Now I need to get a handle on it. Hang on. So I might just give this a tidy up. Pulled a couple of these little trays out. I'd like to make a handle for it. But you know something? I don't really know what I want to use, so I didn't know whether I might want to use all the beads are falling off this now. Whether I wanted to like use a little kind of like, because it's got the same sort of colours in. I didn't know whether to use this and have this on here. So let's just see if I can take this off, and I want to see what it looks like. I don't really know what to do. Do I leave it until I'm sure? Probably I should do that, really, but let's take that off and just see. So I could have that as a little dangle drawer front, but I'm not sure. So maybe what I should do is leave it till I am sure. Like I say, nice colours. Just don't know whether it's the right thing that does or says the right thing. I mean, there's the little one singular sensation. Every move that she makes, diddly diddly dee. I mean, that could go. That could go on there. All the bits have now come off it, so possibly that's what we do, is we wait until we're sure. So there's this, but it's too big. I think I've got a smaller version of that actually, so I could possibly do that, but I don't know whether it's the right thing. I think it's a bit, I don't know. Let me have a look. Let me see if I can find the other version. Oh yeah, do have some smaller versions. So smaller, that's the smaller one. Oh, stuck to my finger. Oh, it's got a bit of red on it. So again, it's still too big. So no, that's a no. I was thinking maybe a button, but the button again is too big. So I think we will leave that till next time and decide when we come to do the Finish It Friday. So this is where we currently stand. I didn't put the thing on the front because I changed what was the front, because I just loved that edge. I had finished the inside of the drawer, so that's all now decorated, including the interior, and I think the Finish It Friday will be making some cards to go in it, and a thing for the front. The only thing I'm not happy about, but I will be really very honest with you, is it's very wibbly wobbly inside. I think it could have done with the drawer being a bit bigger. Could definitely have done with it being an 1/8 of an inch or even a 1/16 of an inch taller and a 1/16 of an inch wider to sit in there nicely. But I guess it depends on what you were going to cover it with anyway, so that would indicate. But I'm glad I put a back on it rather than it just be open, otherwise it just slid all the way through. But yeah, I really like that. So they've put like a little fastening on. I don't have any of those. Possibly make one, I guess. And you know, I might make something a bit more creative to go in it. So maybe I might go with that kind of butterfly collection type thing, but a bit more interesting. Maybe have some of these back to back with a window in them. But anyway, we will do that in a Finish It Friday. So what I will do is I'll pop those inside there, and we will come back to that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was just something a bit different. I know it's not really a make as such, it's more of a cover, but you know, I can't give you all of my secrets all at once. I'd have no channel left. All of my prototypes, I've got a nice collection of prototypes over here. I spent some time prototyping in the last few days, so I've got some great ideas coming up, but I like to do one great idea a week. That's usually a Make It Monday, something else on a Wednesday, and a Finish It Friday. So I don't burn myself out really. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please do give me a like. That really does help my channel. I can't tell you how it helps my channel. It just helps no end. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share this. And if you feel like it, comment, because you know I'll reply. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. My name is Dash of Dave, and I love you all without exception, until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, folks. Lots of love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of hugs. And I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye. Bye.